Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by our Patreon supporters and CoolStuffInc.com. You can find cool stuff in stock every day, and our co-sponsor CardHoarder.com, offering the best inventory prices and delivery of cards for Magic Online. Happy Magic Micsies, everybody!
That's right. Welcome to the Micsies.
Woo! As we get started this week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, Erin Campbell.
I'm not centered. Give me a minute here.
Okay. Reuben Bressler.
I am centered, and I'm also bow-tied, although you can't really tell with the black shirt.
Right.
But we look good.
You'll see him next year in the Disney hit something or other about a
That's
gangster.
right. I'm the villain in whatever is coming from Pixar next year.
Absolutely. So get your chance at a $50 gift certificate to CoolStuffInc.com by typing !raffle in the chat. But subscribe first to get 2 chances. However, we're not just giving away that. We are giving away Magic Online and Magic Arena redemption codes thanks to Travis K, an awesome listener who bought the no foils, no frills bundle thing and the party hard, shred harder thing. I want to give that stuff away, so we want to have 4 winners total tonight.
Right. So the 4 giveaways are $50 gift certificate to CoolStuffInc.com, Party Hard Shred Harder code for MTGO, which is the cards.
Right.
Not styles.
With cards.
That is digital objects.
That's right.
And both MTGO and MTGA redemption codes for
the no foils, no
the
frills
no foils,
thing.
no nonsense.
No nonsense, that's it.
That is a lot. So we have 4 codes to give away, or 4 things to give away.
4 things to give away, 4 winners at the end of the show. So don't forget our raid at the end of the show to support a member of the community. Enter your suggestions at the end of the show to see who we raid tonight. But first, it is officially the Magic Micsies, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us here to discuss our only award show of the year.
That's right.
There it is. So we have logos, we have Micsies, we have our first category.
Yeah.
I love it. It's the dumbest WotC move, okay? So for the number 1 category,
So many.
it's a wonderful, awesome category. The dumbest WotC move. Last year's winner was the MPL Confusion. It hasn't gotten that much better, but hey, it was new
Sure
then.
hasn't. But luckily, that
Rabies.
particular... Oh, did
Thank you
Rabies do
so much
something?
for the gift subs.
Yes,
That was
thank
fantastic.
you.
Yes, so MPL Confusion hasn't gotten that much better, but hey, it's old news now. It's okay.
Yeah, luckily that particular dumbest WotC move has been covered up by the cavalcade of what 2020 was.
Oh goodness. Well, look, we have some options here. First being Ikoria / Commander combo spoiler season. If you don't recall, it was kind of a hot mess as to what was in Ikoria,
so stupid,
and what was in the Commander set, and they released them at the same time. They didn't want you to think they were in the same box, but they weren't. Okay, it was a mess. Followed by the companion mechanic. A mechanic so busted they had to change how it worked after
they
retconned
every card that had it.
First time
Multi-format disaster.
The creator program decision making, quote unquote, and that stuff.
That was so. I mean,
somewhat related to last year's winner is the competitive Magic Dream dying.
Right.
I have no idea how to live it anymore.
You want to be a pro player in this economy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and do you even know how to do it? The answer is no.
You don't. Double Master Snafus.
It
was a little hot of a mess. In card quality, things like that.
Right.
And Secret Lair, The Walking Dead. Now,
people were not pleased.
People were pretty upset.
Secret Lair, The Walking Dead. That was. I mean, it proved to not perhaps be the dumbest, but it did prove to be pretty dumb.
Pretty dumb, in fact, because our winner is the companion mechanic for the number 1 dumbest WotC move of the year. This mechanic was just hot. It was a hot mess, all right? Yeah. I don't know who thought it was a good idea, but how in the world did they think it was? I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, this went all the way to the top. I mean, when you pair Luris with things like Black Lotus and Lion's Eye Diamond, it just becomes really, really unfun. And normally when a mistake is made on a design level, it's usually 1, maybe 2 formats that are affected. But I mean, it was everything. I mean, even Burn was running this card. Like it was, it was just in every single format you were feeling the impact of the companions. And I remember just hearing some really wild rumors when this came out, just in terms of the depths of which the gravity of this mistake was just unprecedented.
Yeah.
It was, so standard, you had Yorion, you had Karuga, you obviously had Lurrus.
Gyruda? Remember Gyruda there for a minute?
And Gyruda. But Yorion was really the standard
Eventually,
one. 80,
yes.
80 is the new 60.
Yeah.
Then in Modern and Pioneer, you had, Lurrus was just
Lurrus was
running
everywhere.
rampant. Everywhere.
Yes.
Back to Vintage, which required the first actual banning of a card from a power level perspective for the first time in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Or something ludicrous like that. Power level. Because obviously restricting Lurrus does nothing to it.
Right.
So you have a failure on a mechanic level, you have a failure on a card level, and you have just a complete reversal of what the cards even do. It was such a cavalcade of dumbness.
Well, I think it was also... I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think it's also just a sign of where we are in terms of the game, where, you're giving people these early access events where they get opportunities to play with the cards before other people. You have Magic Online, you have people that, frankly weren't going anywhere, and so they had a lot of time to really, play with these cards and break them. And, this is just where we're at right now. And then if you give people enough, and that's led to some discussions about should we even have early access events, and should we be releasing cards prior to the pre-releases, and how much time do people have? And so I think it's something that's really just unique to this year in terms of, you have these digital programs that people could play as much as they want to, and they found something really good.
Let's put it this way. If you have to ban one of the cards before you even show one of the cards.
Lutri, that's right.
Lutri being banned before, as they literally explain the mechanic, they go, okay, this one's banned. You go, wait a minute. Was that the problem?
It's like the Storm Dredge scale, but it really could be the Companion scale, because I think Companion is more busted than both Storm or Dredge.
I take offense to that.
By the way, speaking of Erin taking offense to something, this was not a ubiquitous pick of Dumbest WotC Move.
No. I picked the content creator program just because, to me, that was just such a cluster almost from the beginning. I'd been very vocal about the fact that, they say it's a content creator program, but yet it's really just a streamer program. Let's just call it what it is. Right. And, it never really embraced other forms of content, whether it be bloggers or podcasters or even YouTubers. They were very clear about the type of people that they wanted in their program. And, you had this disconnect. We saw all these stories of notable personalities who had applied to be part of the program, and they didn't even know who they were. I remember Brandon Burton, Sandy Dog, one of the most beloved pioneer for people in the game. And he applied for the program, and they were like, no, who are you? Yeah. And so, you had the Elizabeth Eden fiasco, which was just going to say,
very noteworthy. And so, comes out with 3 Magic the Gathering arena videos a week, and can't get love from the arena program. Meanwhile, you've got these 6-digit followers, but people that Magic people have never heard of. Yeah. And it's just, there was a crazy disconnect.
Yeah. So from top to bottom, the content creator program was just a mess. I know that it's still around. I see some tweets from people, they make you send those automated tweets, which is really weird. So it's still around in some form, but it just by all accounts, it was just a flop. You had people just removed arbitrarily. I remember seeing people on Twitter comparing notes of so I just got told I'm not in here anymore, but yet we're still in it, and we never really streamed that much. It doesn't make any sense.
We stream every week, hi guys.
Right, but there were people streaming more than we did. That
for sure. It's for sure. It's fairly hot mess. The creator program is exactly what I can imagine you would see in a boardroom explanation. Right? They say we have these metrics, we have these KPIs, and we're going to get all these people to do all these things and jump these hoops. We're going to show growth, and we're going to show numbers, and we're going to have charts, and we're going to have graphs, and it's going to be awesome. And then in the real world, that doesn't actually work, and you go, wait a minute, these tools are not working, and
you've got people like Bloody and Loading Ready Run getting dropped from the creator program.
What's happening? All right, so let's move on here to the opposite of the dumbest move of the year.
Yeah, for as much crap as we give WotC, they had a lot of good moves this year.
They did, yeah.
So last year's winner was the Command Zone. This is the spot in the Grand Prix. Remember those things? Where you could play Commander and stuff, and they changed the Command.
Tell us more, Grandpa.
I know, right? Remember we could play Magic? But for the number 2 smartest WotC move of the year, it is the Magicfests and Eternal Weekend Online. Yeah. The handling of COVID-19, Jumpstart, which was awesome,
Yeah.
Banning/removing racist card images, certainly a good thing. And Mythic Odysseys of Theros for the D&D crowd.
I mean, we had to edit down the nominees based on how many good things Wizards did this year in a very difficult year.
Yeah.
Like, there were a lot of really good moves by Wizards of the Coast this year. Among the other things that were cut late were the Commander collections, which I think was a great update.
Really nice,
Re-clarifying what the Players Tour means. Reintroducing the Pro Tour, or not the Pro Tour, the Pro Tour Hall of Fame, or the Players Tour Hall of Fame. There were a lot of really excellent things that Wizards did this year from a Magic the Gathering perspective.
But our choice for the winner of the smartest WotC move, and this is all three of us combined, believe the Magicfests and Eternal Weekend Online were their smartest move. They did a great job at least at promoting, explaining, providing access for people to play with cards, as many cards as they wanted for as long as they wanted during those time periods. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah,
this was a really smart move by Wizards. Obviously, we can't play in stores, we can't have major events, and so to move these popular Command Fests to a webcam format was a brilliant idea. They had great turnout. They also decided to use the event and the feature matches as a way to raise money for charities, because Lord knows there are a lot of people and a lot of organizations who need the money right now. And so to have it be for a good cause and to still have ways to bring people together was really, really needed right now. And also Eternal Weekend. We talked about Eternal Weekend being another popular annual event that's been sidelined by all of this. And Wizards taking the reins from Card Titan and really doing a great job of promoting the event. And you have the God accounts, which have now become a regular occurrence between this and various other tournaments. Just finding ways to keep people together, keep playing Magic. Eternal Weekend was a huge success. I think the Legacy event sold out at one point and had like 1,500 people playing. And so, really a bit of a risk to try this. They obviously didn't have a lot of time to put it together, but in both cases, they just hit it out of the park. And I played in both of these, and I was happy to do so.
It's been so many years that Wizards had fought, tooth and nail, about providing you some sort of God account, some sort of account where you can just play whatever cards in the client, just go completely nuts, and just like all of these barriers going away into draft leagues, just going away, you can draft whenever, you can play whenever. Well, nowadays, you can just get access to all the cards you want, play in the event whenever you like to play, and then that's it. And that's what you're paying for, is that entry fee to have that experience. That's a great way to think of it. I appreciate it.
There were some. This was a tough needle to thread this year for everybody.
Yeah.
And it could have been very easy for Magic the Gathering to say, you know what, no one can leave the house. We're going to shutter competitive play as we know it until we're able to gather again. But they kept the gathering in Magic the Gathering somehow, beyond all odds. And they were able to do it through webcams, through the magic of being connected through the internet, through social media, through their marketing. They were able to do something that I feel like is darn close approaching a miracle, which is keeping a really social game social in a time of pandemic.
Non-socialness, as it were.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's move on here to number 3. Our third category here of the year is Hashtag of the Year. Last year's winner was Thank You BDM, which was, of course, appropriate. Very sad now thinking about it, but that's okay. But our Hashtag of the Year nominees this year are Hashtag Shillfesser.
Remember Shillfesser?
Yeah.
That was great.
That was fun. Hashtag Magic Companion.
Right, which doesn't refer to the companion mechanic. It instead refers to the app.
The app that I did once put on the side of a booster box, whatever, it's fine.
Right.
Hashtag Nursish.
Right, remember Nursish?
They gave Huey Jensen a spell to reveal from the new Magic game, and they spelled it wrong, and Huey didn't catch it, so he tweets it and looks like it was funny.
It was Nursish, it was funny. Hashtag Twitch Blackout, which was a thing.
Right. That was a special event to, so this was right around the time of an early access event. I don't remember which set it was, but there were people on Twitch that were taking a break from Twitch because there were accusations coming out about popular streamers and harassment, and so a bunch of streamers decided to take part in this blackout in solidarity for this.
Right.
Yes.
So hashtag MTG Goth Girl Squad,
Yeah.
which is a fun one. And lastly, elect more nerds.
Yeah.
Hashtag elect more nerds.
Emma
Which was a
famously.
Yes.
Yeah, is friends with a guy named Lee something, and I think he's in the House or the.
He's a state house representative in Virginia.
Yeah, really savvy, plays Magic. You love to see it.
Yeah, fantastic. And the winner for the hashtag of the year is hashtag MTG Goth Girl Squad. That's right.
Yeah, this was a fantastic hashtag. This was a really great way for, the women in the community or the non-male people in the community to, just really show off, because when you're in the cosplay community, we talked about how events have really risen to the challenge during the pandemic, and cosplayers have as well. And so, you have a lot of people that are very clever, very creative. They're stuck at home with a makeup kit and a bunch of clothes. And all of a sudden, this hashtag was born, and everybody was taking part in it. People appeared to be respectful. You didn't see a lot of lecherous comments or weird comments. People were really just allowed to feel themselves. You saw different takes on goth, whether you're like a baby goth with pink hair and leggings, or, you could be a glam goth and do a classier look. And so it was really great to see everybody's interpretations of goth, people really showing off their best selves and just having a reason to dress up, because we don't have very many of those right now.
Right. I really appreciated hashtag MTG Goth Girl Squad for a number of reasons, not the least of which, calm down everybody, not the least of which is because it brought the community closer together. Right. It wasn't just the cosplayers. And of course the cosplay community in Magic the Gathering killed it on social media this year like none other, because they had
It's where they had to kill it. That was
right. It's where they were killing it because they couldn't go out and do it.
Right.
So you had MTG Bunny and you had MTG Holidays and all that other stuff. But Goth Girl Squad wasn't just the cosplay community. It was streamers, it was community members, it was pro players, it was everybody.
Right.
And this was the first one of these viral hashtags that kind of brought the whole community together. I feel like MTG Goth Girl Squad was a progenitor of a dozen positive hashtags for the community, and it was great.
Hey man, being there first is important, as this channel well knows.
Wow.
Say, it's true, man. I know it. All right, so our fourth award here is not necessarily an award. It's a part in the show we call In Memoriam, where we talk about who or what we have lost this year. And for our first slide here, we're going to talk about Thomas Gianni, who was a MTG artist for Abeyance and Manriki-Gusari.
You can say Manriki-Gusari, but you cannot say T.S. Salawick.
It
boggles the mind.
Wow.
Japanese has very strict rules, and I know them, and they're fun, okay? So I can know James Takenaga is a thing, and I can say that because it's always that way. Who, again, he was a SoCal judge, and he passed away, my gosh, at 39. Angela Chandler was of course, Southwest RC judge, age 42. We talked about her, a couple months ago. Gabe Walls, oh my God. Gabe Walls, Pro Tour top 8er, 33 years old. I knew Gabe. I hung out with him at Pro Tours. This
another one that I knew personally, and so I'm obviously closer with. Of the people on this list, I met two of them, I think, Gabe and Grant. And obviously Gabe, younger than me, troubled gentleman, but a huge force in the community.
Goodness gracious. Rekful, the Twitch streamer.
That was huge. And
huge.
Continues to see ripples in Rekful's passing. This was extremely sad. The effects of Rekful's passing at age 31 are going to be felt for a very long time.
And I think one of the things that really compounded the Rekful issue is that because he was a streamer, so much of what he was dealing with was documented. It's one thing when you hear stories or somebody's I knew they had their struggles or I knew they had their demons, but you could see it. You could see people in his chat telling him to kill himself. You could see people in his chat, calling him slurs. And so just to see it, happening right in front of you just made it so much more real and really made you realize what certain people are going through and what can really happen in certain communities if you're not careful.
There you go. So finish out the list here. We have Anime Streams, who was a Magic streamer.
One of the first people to really hop on the arena train. I remember when her and Skybills and even Bloody, there was this group of girls that really just came out of nowhere, and Muffin Pastry Pie was another one, and just before you knew it, they just flew to the top of the Twitch page, and I was really surprised to see that. And I remember her because she was one of the first streamers I ever saw that had like the waifu character. Yep. Like she didn't even have her real face for a while.
She was a VTuber for a little while.
And then all of a sudden she kind of started coming out from behind the mask, and then we lost her.
There you go. And finally, Grant Imahara, the roboticist, 49 years old. Goodness gracious.
So Grant Imahara played Magic, but is more famous for being one of the Mythbusters. Had one of the battle bots from the lightweight division.
Worked for NASA and all that, didn't he?
Built the original Baby Yoda. Before he passed away, and when we were able to go back out again, has many animatronics in the new Avengers land at Disney World. A lot of my friends here in Los Angeles are extremely close, or were extremely close to Grant Imahara, and was a nerd well before, and well after it was cool, and unabashedly so. And I feel like from a cultural perspective is not given enough credit for how proud of being a nerd he was when it wasn't cool 15 years ago.
Sure. So that was the sort of the people we lost this year, but we didn't lose just people, of course. We also lost things like the CFBE, the Channel Fireball Events staff page.
You still have the old slide up. Oh, there we go. Okay.
We have the lots of FLGSs, which was awful.
Just so many.
Not
just FLGSs, but lots of businesses as well.
Yeah, and it's funny because we've talked on this show about all the ways that we imagined game stores would die, and we thought it would be Arena, or we thought Wizards cutting off products would be the cause, but apparently it just took a pandemic, and
it just took a worldwide never-ending
health emergency.
Emergency, yes. The companion rule change in June.
Yeah,
that was a thing.
Yeah. Free companions, get the F out of here.
That's right. And so for In Memoriam for Standard this year was
good God.
We have a list. Agent of Treachery and Fires of Invention in June. Wilderness Reclamation, Growth Spell, Teferi Time Raveler, and Cauldron Familiar in August. That's just Standard this year.
That's just Standard.
In Modern, we have Oko, Mox Opal, Mika's Think Lattice in January, Once Upon a Time in March, Arkham's Astrolabe in July. That's just Modern. For Brawl, God help us, we have Golos in March and Teferi Time Reveler in August.
We actually missed Lutri for Brawl because there were so many bans. We actually missed one.
That Legacy and Vintage have become the safe spaces where, if you want to play if you want a format where you are least likely to see bans or restrictions, come on down to these two.
We got Commander in there in the next slide. We got Historic. Good Lord. Historic band Oko, Once Upon a Time in Veil of Summer in March, Agent of Treachery, Fires of Invention, and Winota in June. Nexus of Fate and Burning Tree Emissary in July. Wilderness Reclamation and Teferi Time Reveler in August. God.
At least they let Burning Tree Emissary back into Historic.
They did. They brought it back. And Pauper lost Expedition Map and Mystic Sanctuary in July.
So there's a mistake here. Kathas, these are not Pauper cards.
These are not.
Yeah. This is Truth. That's Pioneer.
So this is for Pioneer.
Some of those are Pauper, some of those are Pioneer.
Yes. Sorry about that. So in Pioneer, we lost Expedition Map, Mystic Sanctuary in July.
No. Pauper was Expedition Map and Mystic Sanctuary. Pioneer was Kathas Inverter, Ballista Breach.
Walking Ballista and Underworld Breach in August. Yeah, so Commander, we had Lutri in April before it even came out. Flash in April. And MTGO Leagues got rid of Garuda because it was bugged or something. And then, of course, 7 cards with racist histories were banned in all formats. Jeez. And that's the end of our In Memoriam.
And this is just our normal now,
God, that's so many. It was it's so many cards that got banned and or restricted and or changed that we messed up multiple times in the In Memoriam segment.
We couldn't keep them straight. Yeah,
couldn't get them.
We went years with no bans.
Yeah, years and years and years and years with no bans. Period. This whole slide's absurd compared to 3 years ago.
It's crazy.
For our 5th award here, or our 5th topic here, we have our most hated card, which accidentally includes a vote, but it's fine. Our most hated card from last year was Field of the Dead, because that card is stupid.
Which you can now face in Modern and Legacy.
Yeah, you sure can. Our most hated card opportunities for this year are Space Godzilla Death Corona.
I stand by my vote on Space Godzilla.
We see your name on the slide for some reason.
It was an accident, but Agent of Treachery, Arkham's Astrolabe, Teferi Time Raveler, Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath, and Negan the Cold-Blooded. Those are our options, and obviously, Reuben, you may go ahead and discuss your pick, as it was not the final pick.
So, they originally printed the Godzilla frame of Void Beckoner, the 8/8 for 8 card, with the Godzilla frame as Space Godzilla Death Corona.
Right.
They have since changed that name to something else. Who cares?
Death something or other.
But they named it Space Godzilla Death Corona in like October and sent it to the printers. And then the coronavirus happened, and they were like, oops!
Oopsies.
Sorry,
it's funny
everybody.
Even I had to do a double take. Like, I remember when that card got revealed, I remember thinking, like, that's a really great Twitter name. And I literally went to do, like, Erin, Deaths, oh,
right.
delete.
Yeah.
It took me a second.
Goodness gracious. So,
Yike.
yeah, so our most hated card ended up, at least in the final vote, was not the Space Godzilla, but however was Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath.
Yeah.
This
card is
dumb
ridiculous.
Card.
I mean, we're seeing it in every single format right now. I mean, Modern is full of just these Uro soup decks. Legacy is full of Uro soup decks right now. Snoko decks. Miraculously enough, it really isn't seeing play in Vintage.
Not yet.
People are trying to make it happen, but for whatever reason, it's just not taking over. But this card is just awful to play against. It's just some of the most flaccid Magic you will ever see. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. In terms of most hated gameplay, honestly, I probably would have picked Omnath over Oko. Because the Omnath gameplay was so boring. It was like every game was exactly the same.
It was inevitable and painful.
But, I mean, obviously Uro in more decks has been around longer for whatever reason. They should have banned it way faster. A lot more time to hate Uro. Well-deserved most hated card.
We had all year to see how stupid this card was, and they finally banned it in Standard, and it's just literally everywhere else. You gave us a Rampant Growth plus that gains life, puts the card into play untapped, by the way, and can rebuy itself later. I mean, good God. It was dumb, and I didn't like it.
And gained life, so couldn't even play red decks.
Well, that means on the other side of this coin is our most loved card of the year. Last year's winner was Terramander, which is Terramander says trans rights. That's right. This year we have 4 options for our most loved card. It was Shark Typhoon, Pack Leader, Tiny Bones Trinket Thief, or Charix the Raging Isle.
I mean, lots of stuff to love here. I mean, I love all of these cards.
I mean, you would have got to pour one out for Tiny Bones for Reuben here.
Yeah, I picked Tiny Bones. I felt like Tiny Bones was the most loved card because as soon as it was revealed, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it's a Tiny Bones!
It's a wonderful Tiny Bones,
and I love everything about it."
And it's great, but the winner ended up being Shark Typhoon.
Yeah, I mean, this card just came out of nowhere and started off just being a joke. And again, just every format, they are playing this in Vintage. So this is Legacy, Vintage, Modern. I mean, this has become a staple in control decks and even mid-range decks. And it's card draw. You can play it with it made Standstill come back as a deck. It's called Shark Still now. That's a thing in Legacy and Vintage.
Shark Still?
Shark
Still.
Amazing. Because you're not actually casting anything, so you slam your Standstill and you're like, what? And then you make a shark and you beat him to death with it. And so just to have a card like this, and it's fine. Like no one has ever said that Shark Typhoon is busted.
Right.
It just says something different and unique and fun.
That's the big thing for me.
Yeah, and
it could have been a meme. It could have been. It was very it could have very easily become the most hated card, right?
Possibly.
But it's good. It's balanced.
It's well costed.
It's fun. It's interesting gameplay. It is hilarious in a way that people weren't necessarily expecting.
Right.
and sees play in multiple formats. Like Tiny Bones, I wish saw play in multiple formats, but Shark Typhoon does.
Yeah.
So it's both a meme and healthy gameplay at the same time.
Yeah. I will take it.
I loved Tiny Bones as much as everybody else did, but Tiny Bones has a couple strikes against it. One, it's very limited. Is it still like expensive? Last I checked, it was like $20-$30. So
it's still very expensive.
Very hard to get your hands on it, and it is a bit of a frustrating commander to play against.
Sure.
I remember when I first saw the card, I had made a comment that I was going to build the deck, and I did have a couple people around me that were like mono black discard decks are.
It's hard to say that. If someone had said to me at the beginning of the year they're going to make a card based on Sharknado.
And it's going to be the most loved
card of the year.
Yeah,
it's going to hit every format and change control. Here comes the Sharknado. Good luck.
Yeah.
Godspeed. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on here to our 7th category, the drama of the year.
Girl.
Last year's winner was Forsaken, Nissa, and Chandra. Decidedly male.
Luckily, they've retconned that.
They kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So the drama of the year options are the Ikoria pre-release delay, which was a whole mess of problems.
Tough.
The C word we don't say, but we've said a few times already. The statement on Space Godzilla, as we discussed, the death
Which we discussed, yep.
BLM, as we know, Black Lives Matter.
And Black Lives do matter, yeah.
The MTG artist cancellations.
We'll be generous and call them cancellations.
Cancellations.
And not just MTG artists who got what was coming to them.
Implosions, yeah. Mythic Invitational Championship tape delay, which was its own thing.
Yeah, which I didn't care about as much as everybody else. But
it's whatever. And Secret Lair, The Walking Dead.
Boy, howdy, did everybody hate that.
Boy, howdy. So for the winner of the drama of the year that could not get everyone to shut up about was most definitely Secret Lair, The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Not even
Seriously, shut up about it. But, it had to be the Secret Lair, The Walking Dead. A lot of these things are world problems, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
The COVID, Black Lives Matter, and to some extent the artists who are no longer involved with Magic the Gathering. Those are world issues.
Yeah.
Those are things that we discussed on the show in relation to how it related to Magic, but weren't Magic-centric. And Secret Lair, The Walking Dead was Magic-centric and was blowing up social media for months.
Yeah.
2 months.
You had people creating a new format in Commander partially in protest of it. I mean, and it was, again, I like to talk about impact on multiple formats. It didn't matter what format you played, you had an opinion on the Secret Lair. And the thing I'll never forget is when they threw together that weird press conference on Twitch. Do you remember that?
Oh,
and
yeah.
you had the one marketing guy with all the shoes and the Tupperware. You had Forsyth, who looked like he couldn't give less of a damn. And then you had poor Blake Rasmussen, who's just sitting there, and that chat was just a cluster. It was just so bad.
It was rough, and YouTube comments have been turned off, as you would expect.
Yeah.
When it comes to the word drama, it was obvious that this was going to be Secret Lair, The Walking Dead. Had to be the drama of the year. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need to be positive. It didn't need to be negative. Obviously, the Secret Lair, The Walking Dead has sold like hotcakes.
Yeah.
It's been an extremely popular product from Wizards of the Coast, a subsidiary of Hasbro.
Oh yeah, they're very happy with it.
It has been extremely dramatic.
It has been, very sort of telling. People just drawing lines in the sand or whatever. I'll read something that I wrote to a Wizards employee at the time. I said, the thing that gets me is that I felt like other properties on pure black bordered cards is something sacrosanct.
Yeah.
I felt that this was a bridge you can never cross, because after this, you don't have any ammunition to stop anything like it in the future. You only get to sell the integrity of the black bordered cards.
You know what sacrosanct means, but you can't say the pilot.
That's right.
Saloic?
Soylent.
Did we do that? Okay. All right, let's move on here to the artwork of the year. Last year's winner being the War of the Spark Japanese Liliana by Yoshitaka Amano, which I could just say Japanese names to mess with Erin.
Well, it's because they're transliterated. It's easy to read them.
Because it's nice. It's nice. There's rules. All right. So the options are Maronar from the Secret Lair Year of the Rat, the Sublime Epiphany from M21, the Tiny Bones, of course, from Jumpstart, the Exploration Box Topper from Double Masters, the Demonic Tutor from Douglas Schuler, and as well as the Damnation and the Secret Lair for Seb McKinnon.
Right, Demonic Tutor and Damnation specifically on this list for being the most expensive art ever sold this year, and of course the Secret Lair Damnation set a new record as well.
Absolutely. And so for our winner of Artwork of the Year, it is for Sublime Epiphany from Lindsay Look.
Lindsay.
Yeah.
You could say
Lindsay?
You could say a Japanese artist, but you can't
Lindsay?
say Lindsay.
I can say Lindsay. Is it Lindsay?
Lindsay?
Yeah,
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Okay.
I felt like, so Evan and I voted for Sublime Epiphany, and
did.
we'll get to Erin's pick in a second, but I felt like I saw this art and I was like, this is so unique, so beautiful, so different from everything I've ever seen that it has to be, I feel like it had to be my pick.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. I mean, the fact that it has so much depth and sort of imagination, and I just love the look of
It's
it,
like
the composition.
Dali-esque.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's super cool and unique.
Yeah.
But Erin, you chose someone else. Or something else,
you
rather.
guys almost convinced me to pick this one, but shout out to the chat here. I picked Tiny Bones just because I will never forget just the first time it came across my Twitter feed, and just everything about it. You just have this little skeletal person, and the way that their head is cocked to like a very unusual degree, and the fact that they're running away with the emeralds. And Jason Rainville is just a very, very versatile artist. Like, I feel like he doesn't really have a niche. He's not like a Seb or a Vincent that does like one thing really, really well. Like, I feel like Rainville has an incredible range, but this was not something I was expecting from him. I love the fact that he embraced the character and even gave like a little bio on it. He also did some nice behind the scenes tweets on it, but I just love everything about it. The purples, the greens, the story of Tiny Bones. Look at this. It's just wild.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. And I feel like had Erin and I commiserated together, we could have gotten Tiny Bones to win one of the categories. Because I had it in most loved and Erin had it as best star, and between us both it won nothing.
Yeah.
That sounds like a rigged election to me. Okay.
That's right. But I mean I love me a Tiny Bones.
All right, so let's move on here to our next category, this being the coverage moment of the year. Oh, no. Last year's winner was the MC1 Finals, Burchett Wins, BDM Interview, and Rich Hagon's speech, which was awesome. This year, our coverage moment of the year being the LRR post pre-release, right?
Right. Post pre-release, because it was after the pre-release.
Right.
This was the one at the beginning of the year, right after the COVID stuff started.
Right. Good Morning Magic with Gavin Verhey.
Which is a
delight.
revelation.
Yes. Woo's roommate in the background of the PT Finals. Hello. Manny roasts Day 9 over Arboreal Grazer on Mythic Envy.
That was hilarious, too. That was pretty good.
Hot Singles in Your Area with Jeff Hoagland. That showed up.
Former Magic the Gathering content producer, Jeff Hoagland. And
Tulare Community College's $116,000 Trans Lifeline giveaway.
Fantastic moment. I'm just not necessarily sure it's coverage.
It's not really coverage.
Right. There wasn't a lot of coverage this year.
That's fair.
So.
Well, you know what the winner is. We know what the winner is.
Yeah.
It's Woo's roommate in the background.
Kind of had to be.
This was mortifying.
Right?
This hurt to watch. It really did.
So for those who don't know, there was and I think Evan's trying to show a clip of it. So there was a feature match going on during one of the big tournaments, and one of the players didn't realize, or maybe he did, that his camera aimed right into his bathroom, and his roommate just casually strolls in the bathroom, whips it out, and pees live on stream. And you don't actually really see anything, but it was just, you had the commentators that were struggling to keep up with it, and it was just so
it hurt.
Yeah, you don't see anything, but also Alan Wu just has his door open, and so is the bathroom, and then the roommate doesn't close the bathroom door. Look, not every year has the dearth of coverage that 2020 has.
Sometimes
this was the most talked about, the most disseminated. I mean, you talk about a live stream moment.
It was a moment, all right? You have etched yourself into Magic history, Woo's roommate, as you have peed. All the way in. All right, let's move on here to our format of the year. Last year's winner being Pioneer, which was
Pioneer?
Jeepers.
Pioneer was a thing, wasn't it? Look, the format of the year options this year is Historic, Standard, Webcam Commander, 8-player Arena Draft, Jumpstart, or Remastered sets on Arena.
Yeah.
And the winner.
We had some cool formats this year. I mean, good, fun draft formats. 8-player arena coming, like actual playing with other people was huge. The remastered sets on arena were big, but it felt like it could only be one thing.
Yeah.
Well, after this year, we chose the winner of Webcam Commander.
I mean, it had to be. I mean, this is the biggest Magic format right now. I mean, Commander itself is having a huge moment, but, nobody's buying webcams to play Modern. I mean, let's be completely honest. Like, you're buying the webcams that you can play Commander with your friends, and you can go to Command Fest, and, this is really what the Gathering looks like right now. And, it's the format. You see people throwing together games on Twitter. It's bringing people together. You have the Command Fests. I mean, you can still play other formats. Like I said, Magic Online's doing a great job. Arena's a great job, but this was really the format where everybody wanted a webcam, everybody wanted to be a part of this, and everybody was, feverishly coming up with setups, I remember when the pandemic first started, there were lots of tweets of, you need to get an arm, get an extender arm, or there was one guy that was, like, MacGyvering it and was like, you need to cut a fat pack box and put your phone in, and, like, everyone was just desperate to be a part of this format, and rightfully so. It's, for a lot of people, this is the only social interaction that they're getting right now, and this is also the format that's made news. I've seen so many headlines about this where, people have said, how is Magic surviving a pandemic? Webcam Commander. This is really the thing right now.
This was the thing that sort of kind of kept a lot of people going. And like, yes, I love some of the other sets and the formats, don't get me wrong. And Lord, we needed 8-player arena draft for a very long time, and it was great. But like, I can't deny that if it weren't for what's going on right now, I probably wouldn't choose this option. But I have to recognize that, like, we're a community at sometimes, and we gotta be able to get together here, people. I can't show up anymore. This is the safest way to play Magic right now.
If we live in a world where the coronavirus doesn't exist, Jumpstart wins this category. Jumpstart is a revelation of a product. It is spectacular. The fact that it isn't going to get as much of its due as it's going to because of the way that 2020 has gone is a damn shame.
It's
but
unreal,
Webcam Commander is where it's at in 2020. Like, that's just is what it is.
Let's go over here to our 11th category, Set of the Year. Last year's winner was Modern Horizons. And, of course, for the sets this year, we have Theros Beyond Death, Ikoria Lair of Behemoths, Zendikar Rising, Commander 2020, M21 Core Set, the Mini Secret Layers, or Jumpstart. And and I guess to the surprise of very few at this point, but the winner for Set of the Year is absolutely Jumpstart. This is hands down the best in-store play product I've seen in literally years and years and years, and it's the one year we can't play it in stores. It's unbelievable, and it crushes my soul how great this product is and how little we can actually sit down to play with it in the stores.
Yep. I wanted to give it its due. I earnestly think it's the set of the year. I think that it would be the set of, like, it's the product of the decade.
So far, I mean, no one's come close to anything in the past 10 years that I've seen. Like, yeah, it's cool to have Modern Horizons and putting cards directly into Modern. Yes, it's great we have more Commander products. That's cool. And, like, in Conspiracy, neat to have multiplayer focus products. Yes, fine. But this fills so many niches. It fills deck building. It has the variety. It has the quick gameplay of just let's play a few matches and we're done. You can mix and match. You can tear it back down. You can make your own Jumpstart products. Like, this is just a gangbusters idea that I can't get over, and it crushes me that it ended up the way it did.
Now, in terms of regular sets, Erin.
Now, Erin, your vote did not go to Jumpstart.
I hated Jumpstart.
Yeah.
We're like, Jumpstart's a grass.
Which is why we're saying quiet so much time.
So I ended up picking Ikoria, actually. I feel like Ikoria hit a lot of notes for me. It had some swing. You had a swing in the miss in the form of Companion. But even after the Companion nerf, Companions still continue to affect formats in a positive way. Yorion is still a thing. Luris is still a thing. You can still run Obosh. Mono red Obosh is now an archetype in Modern right now. And so, I think that the Companions have still proven themselves to be playable. You had other cards that became format staples as well. The Triomes see a lot of play, especially with people, really trying to play Omnath and Uro in every format. So you had the Triomes, you had Sprite Dragon, which became a vintage all-star, which I didn't see coming. And so you have Zenith Flare, the return of cycling. You had Mutate, which was a really cool Winota, and the impact that she had on a couple of formats there. This was just a really, really cool set. You had broken commanders like Nethroi. You had the ultimatums, which were really, really cool. In many ways, this set is very subtle, but in a lot of ways, this set's very powerful. I like that it didn't take itself too seriously, which I think is when I think Wizards is best when they're like that. And so for me, I really, really enjoyed Ikoria.
I would say that. Right. I would say that if we were picking the standard set of the year, I think I would pick Ikoria. There was enough complexity, but it wasn't overwhelming. There was enough variety, and it was really interesting to see how sort of everything connected together.
And the draft environment was so good.
It was fantastic. Like the ability to just kind of like, how do I evaluate mutate? Like, I'm not going to get 2 for 1, but do I really want to put all my eggs in this one basket if they have a removal spell? Like, all those things just really help the gameplay.
Yep.
And also just little cards like Whisper Squad, which ended up becoming staples in the Red-Black Sacrifice deck. Fire Prophecy, which people have been playing around with in various formats. Luca, remember how powerful that card was? And so, you just had these little gems that just found their homes in various decks and just made a nice little impact.
So for our final category here is Card of the Year. Now, last year's winner was Oko Thief of Crowns, the one banned and everything and restricted as necessary. But it was last year's Card of the Year, for sure. Yeah. Our options this year are Lurrus the Dream Den, Agent of Treachery, Fires of Invention, Thassa's Oracle, Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, and Omnath, Locus of Creation. And I think this might be the first time we have ever had a card that is the most hated.
And Card of the Year.
The Card of the Year, which is Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath.
I mean, normally when a card is hated, Oko was pretty much everywhere, but Uro is everywhere. Like, you cannot deny this.
Everywhere.
This is one of those cards that you're either playing Uro or you have an answer for Uro. And, you just have the multi-format dominance. You have what the card does. You have the way that it really solidifies what Simic is doing right now, or even what Green wants to be doing right now. And people say they don't want to play it, but if you want to win. And also, it has the really unique distinction of being super expensive on Magic Online. There are a lot of people with the various loan programs out there that cannot afford Uros, and even people that have significant loan balances are priced out of playing this card just because there's not enough of them on Magic Online for everybody. And so it kind of has that Oko distinction of it's everywhere, but yet everybody's playing with it and everybody's doing well with it. And so what do?
I was this close to picking Thassa's Oracle for Card of the Year because I feel like Thassa's Oracle has changed so many formats, so many decks, so many archetypes just by it existing.
Exactly.
I was this close to picking Thassa's Oracle. Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah, Thassa's Oracle.
I felt like Uro just couldn't be there.
Like, you can't have at this point, there is not a format that it hasn't touched or changed in some way. It has become this weird lightning rod of, is this really good design? Are we really happy with a card that does so much, that fuels so much, that has so many different options to play with it and blink it and sacrifice it to the oven while it's on the stack and all this other garbage, and then at the same time just rebuy it a turn later, get this effect every single time it attacks? Like, are you really okay with the absolute steamroll that is this card, which makes it, I think, perfectly for the most hated and the card of the year?
I will agree with Reuben, though. I think Thassa's Oracle has really breathed new life into various combo decks. Doomsday has become much more accessible in both Legacy and Vintage. Doomsday used to be one of the most intimidating, difficult decks to pilot now, and is still difficult to pilot. Don't let people tell you that it's face
But the
roll.
stacks get a lot easier.
It still has options, but it's really made a deck like that more accessible. People are playing around with Hermit Druid again. You're seeing these mill decks. Ad Nauseam now has a backup win condition if they don't want a Lightning Storm. There's all sorts of neat things. You think even Merfolk, God bless Nikachu. Yeah. I think Nikachu was even doing something with this card too. And so the way that it's just given people new forms of win conditions, it's made certain obscure decks kind of popular again. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's Thassa's Oracle is a very interesting card for sure. But that wraps up our Magic Micsies for 2020, ladies and gentlemen.
What a year! What a weird year this was. We had
this was a weird
not
year.
As many viral hashtags as usual. Not as many coverage moments of the year.
No.
It felt like more dramas, but somehow all of them were equivalent. The art this year was spectacular. We could have had 20 nominees for art.
Yeah, we had some great art this year and some great options. The Secret Lairs got really interesting, which was fun and nice in many ways, regardless of the fact if you bought them or not. But, it's a year. I mean, I will never forget, at least for me, in March of 2020, when I just sat there and I went, is everything just supposed to stop now? Do we just stop doing everything?
Right.
Like, should we stop doing the podcast, stop going out, stop doing work, just like hole up and say nothing for the next months or so going? And that's just...
In March, I was thinking to myself, man, this is going to be a tough 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Rough couple months. I just want to say, if you're watching this and you've made it through this year, if you are here tonight and you're here, like, that's enough. And so you should be proud of that. And if you're not sure, if you're going into tomorrow and you're thinking, what do I have to celebrate or what do I have? You are here, bitch, and we need you. And that
you're
is
going to
worthy
start
of something.
seeing look at all of the things that I did this year tweets.
You survived. That's all you need
you
to
got
do.
here.
So
that's all you need.
Take your ass to the store, get you some carrots and dip or whatever you need to do, throw on a party hat, and that's your reason to celebrate. Just
try to treat yourself.
Yeah.
As it should be. And a quick shout out here to Jeremy Knoll. He's going to be a hashtag MTG dad.
Oh my God. More baby pictures.
That's right.
More babies. So that should be super duper fun. So congratulations to him. Thanks to everybody for hanging out and watching the Magic Micsies as we move here to the finisher. So if you're looking a year ahead at the 6th annual Magic Micsies, which is scheduled for March 639th, 2020.
Yeah.
What are you expecting to see a dozen months down the line, Reuben?
Well, as the lost year of 2020 comes to a close and we inch closer and closer to vaccines and herd immunity and the light at the end of our socially distant tunnels, no longer will the coverage moment of the year be won by a video of a Magic Pro's roommate taking a piss in the background of their shabby apartment. No, I'm looking forward to 2021, when the coverage moment of the year will be won by a video of a Magic Pro's roommate taking a piss in the background on the PT Finals stage. That's a mana leak for the win.
That's a mana leak, huh? Wow. That's some straight 8th grade goodness right there.
Yeah.
Erin, what you got?
Well, social media is the cause of and answer to all of Magic Mike's problems. So I'm hopeful that my prayers are answered in 2021 when the hashtag of the year is a tie between RIP Facebook, RIP Instagram, and RIP Twitter, which of course will go viral on the only social media platform that will remain, LiveJournal. Remember LiveJournal?
Yeah. It's coming full circle. Yeah. We're going all the way back to Blogger.
Remember Blogger.com? All of the other social media sites die.
Yeah.
Only the crocodiles survived the meteor, and only LiveJournal will remain.
Goodness gracious. With the signature spellbooks going the way of the dodo and replaced by commander collections, being the latest in a long line of product attempts that didn't quite catch on, all I'm hoping for is a throwback to the classics. 2021's product of the year goes to Secret Lair Stuff versus Things.
Stuff versus Things.
I like it.
That's a throwback to the blowback. I like that.
Thing and a stuff, yeah.
That's right. I love it. And that ends another live episode of Magic Mike's and the 2020 Magic Micsies. Thanks for joining us here to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you for having me, and have a happy and safe New Year, everybody.
That's right.
Thank you, Reuben.
I am so thankful for this show, and I'm so thankful for this audience, and I'm so thankful for you two, Erin and Evan, for giving me a schedule to
that
exist,
you don't follow.
That I don't really follow, but occasionally, it gives me at least a modicum of a schedule.
It's true.
And something to look forward to every week.
Hanging out with us and talking about
and thank you
magic
guys
nonsense.
for giving me a reason to put on a bra twice a week.
Well, there you go.
If it wasn't for you,
I have
for
a
just
request
2
in the chat.
podcasts a week. You
I have a
can
request in the
support.
chat real quick from E. Otsby, so if you'll indulge me. Honk!
I am going to be happy when that trend goes away.
As we move to our final slide, I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, our co-sponsor, CardHoarder.com, my co-host, Erin Campbell and Reuben Bressler. You guys for watching or listening. I hope you support us at Patreon.com/MagicMikes. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe to everything social that tells people we exist. Catch us online on our Discord, twitch.tv at Magic Mikes, on Twitter at Magic Mikes Cast, our Magic Mikes subreddit, and like the Magic Mikes page on Facebook. Or join us here next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mikes. Good night, everybody.